What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Conor McGregor sheds light on Artem Lobov lawsuit. This week, the MMA world was rocked by news of Artem Lobov suing Conor McGregor. According to a lawsuit filed by Lobov, he was one of the masterminds behind the Proper 12 Irish whiskey brand. At the time of its creation, McGregor was gearing up to launch a vodka with another partner, when Lobov pitched him on the idea of creating an Irish whiskey. McGregor was interested, and as a result, Lobov wound up putting together several deals for Proper 12 thanks to his master's degree in business. Earlier this year, when McGregor got $500 million for his stake in Proper 12, Lobov didn't receive anything. Now, in his lawsuit, he's seeking a 5% stake in the brand. That, of course, didn't sit too well with McGregor, who fired back on Twitter earlier this week in a video where he called his former friend and training partner a rat.
Artem is a rat, na 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 na, hey rat.
Tuesday, he again took shots at his former colleague, explaining that Lobov is trying to sue him and his father for defamation of character. He also challenged Lobov to a fight at SBG Ireland, the gym they both trained at during the course of their UFC careers. So far, no response yet from Lobov. However, some have pointed out that considering the Russian Hammer is accusing McGregor of defamation, the former two-division champion's tweets likely aren't the best look. What do you make of the situation? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Nate Diaz officially removed from UFC roster. MMA community reacts. Stockton superstar Nate Diaz is officially a free agent after being removed from the UFC's roster this week. His removal marks the end of a 90-day period during which he was a restricted free agent who couldn't negotiate with other promotions. According to his manager, the UFC actually waived the remaining time in the 90-day period, a move likely made in good faith in the hopes of giving Diaz another reason to potentially consider re-signing with the promotion in the future. As a result of his release, promotions like Bellator, who have reportedly already reached out to the Stockton slugger about a deal, can now officially negotiate with Diaz. So far, no word yet on where his first stop will be. However, there's no shortage of options for him. First, of course, is another MMA contract elsewhere. With Bellator interested in signing him, Diaz could also choose to sign with Rizin, where he could also have an exhibition boxing match with Floyd Mayweather if Nobuyuki Sakakibara has anything to say about it. The Rizin boss recently spoke about the situation, explaining that given his long-standing relationship with Nate's brother Nick, he'd be more than happy to find a way to partner with the recently released UFC star. At the same time, Diaz could also go and box Jake Paul, a move he assured UFC President Dana White he wouldn't make prior to his final fight in the octagon. While some have guessed that Diaz could look for a big payday against Paul, others believe he won't want to legitimize Paul's recent run in boxing. According to his manager, Diaz will compete multiple times next year, one of which will be in boxing. In addition, his manager teased a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor, something that the Irish superstar has also explained he'd be open to. Nate is going to be looking at the biggest fights possible. He has stated that completing the trilogy with Conor McGregor is something that interests him, and that has not changed. After the news of Diaz's removal from the UFC roster, the MMA community quickly took to Twitter to discuss the situation, with some calling for a fight with Jake Paul, while others simply wanted to voice their appreciation for a fighter who spent so much time entertaining fans both inside and outside of the octagon. What do you want to see Diaz's next step be? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Jorge Masvidal shuts down Michael Chandler fight. After Michael Chandler lost to Dustin Poirier at UFC 281, the lightweight contender was faced with two options. One was to get right back on the horse, call out another lightweight contender like Rafael Fiziev, and progress towards another title shot. The other was to angle for a money fight. Chandler chose the latter, calling out welterweight star Jorge Masvidal for a fight to determine the true BMF. The move indicated to some that Chandler could be looking to simply take some money fights, given that he's now just 2-3 in his UFC career. At the same time, others felt as though he was owed a money fight from the UFC, given the exciting fights he's put on since joining the roster back in 2021. During a recent interview, Masvidal shut down talks of a fight with Chandler, explaining that there's no reason for him to fight someone who does nothing to help him secure a welterweight title fight. In terms of Michael Chandler, that fight doesn't do anything for me. You need to be selfish in this sport. It's all me, and me. Everything you can do for yourself. So look, he doesn't get me closer to the title at 170 pounds. That alone doesn't make me interested. It also doesn't make me the most money in this sport because he's not a pay-per-view draw. He's known, but in terms of pay-per-view, he doesn't sell. Masvidal had been linked to a fight with fellow welterweight contender Gilbert Burns for next year, even going so far as to call Burns out for a fight in London next year. Despite that, the UFC wound up booking Burns to fight Neil Magny next year at UFC 283, leaving Masvidal as the odd man out at welterweight. Who do you want to see him face? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Anthony Smith fires back at Conor McGregor. UFC superstar Conor McGregor and light heavyweight contender Anthony Lionheart Smith have continued to fire shots at one another in the media as of late. The pair have been at each other's throats ever since it was revealed that McGregor had not been tested once by USADA this year. Smith then spoke about the situation on a recent podcast, saying that McGregor was getting preferential treatment. In addition, he also pointed out that something was fishy given how jacked the former two-division champ looked in recent photos. That didn't sit too well with the Notorious One, who fired back on Twitter with a series of tweets that raised quite a bit of controversy. In addition to calling Smith out, McGregor also addressed accusations of him using PEDs by explaining that only he, Chris Weidman, and Anderson Silva know what it takes to come back from such a horrific injury. That comment left many feeling as though the Irish superstar was admitting to using performance-enhancing drugs to heal. During a recent episode of Michael Bisping's Believe You Me podcast, Smith spoke about the situation, saying,
"If there's something out there that could help me heal that I could do legally, totally would. You know what I mean? Because I would heal a lot faster." But it's not even his reasoning that I'm questioning. It's what bugs me and what I said bothered me is like guys like Anderson and guys like Chris Weidman and myself, like I've had lots of bad injuries and we didn't have the ability to just step out of the USADA pool, get yourself healed, and then come back with no repercussions.
So far, no response yet from McGregor, who has been focusing his energy on his ongoing feud with former training partner Artem Lobov. And now for our breaking news story of the day. Alex Pereira challenges Brendan Schaub following recent comments. After Alex Pereira defeated Israel Adesanya to claim the middleweight title, the newly crowned champion quickly found himself in the sights of the division's top contenders, with streaking contenders like Khamzat Chimaev eagerly calling him out for a fight just moments after he defeated the last stylebender. It's no surprise that the former two-division Glory kickboxing champ quickly found himself looking to potential fights in 2023. While explaining that he was willing to fight Chimaev at 205 pounds early next year in Brazil, he accused the streaking Chechen Swede of turning down a fight with him. According to Brendan Schaub, that it's because Chimaev would make light work of the great striker. Needless to say, that didn't sit too well with Pereira, who fired back in a recent video, challenging Schaub to a $50,000 bet. In his response, Pereira once again explained that he would be down for a fight with Chimaev at 205 pounds in Rio at UFC 283. I propose to do a bet with Schaub, $50,000 if I beat Chimaev. Those $50,000 from both sides we donate to kids in need. Also, $50,000 more that I don't get taken down in 30 seconds, and we double those $50,000 to donate for the charity too, Pereira added. Not only to Schaub, but Chimaev too. If he wants to jump on the bet train, let's bet. That was quickly accepted by Schaub, who offered to up the ante given how confident he is in Chimaev. As they say, styles make fights. And with Pereira being a striker and Chimaev being a grappler, this fight could be a very interesting one. If the two men were to square off, who do you think gets the victory? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to see more videos just like this. See you next time.